Awesome, everyone. Let's get started. Today, this is Friday Connect. We're here every single Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. I co-host this event with Jacob Sharman, who's here with me today, and we talk about everything real estate, how to grow your business from transaction perspective to just your business growth, scaling. And thank you for joining us. We have people join here from all sorts of provinces and states, but also from other countries. We had people join from South Africa, Spain, India. So thank you for joining us here. And like I mentioned, this is a free training, and sometimes we bring on a lot of guests, and we dive in deep into lots of different topics. And if you're passionate about some of the stuff, then if there's something that you're struggling with and you want to learn something, the best place to connect with us is our Facebook group. We have a private Facebook group just for this event. So if there's something that you want to, I'm always running polls on there to figure out what you're looking for so that we can bring the best content for you. So that's the best place to connect with us and stay connected there. And a lot of these recordings, we realized that some people had to either jump out early or they have other commitments like work. And so what we started to do was record them, and we started to put them on YouTube as well. So you can actually catch some of our trainings and recordings there. And just wanted to give you a quick introduction. My name is Tarmila Rajasingham, and I'm also one of the team leaders with some of my agents here who are with me. And today I wanted to bring on a special guest, Marty Pettiford, and I want you to just really take in all the content, and we're going to do a little Q&A at the end. So keep all of your questions to the end. I really want this to be conversational, and we're going to try to get a lot out of Marty. She's someone who, from the moment as a brand new agent, she's super inspirational, started, the moment she got her foot into the real estate space and got her license, she completely changed her business. And I see it this way, and I think it's just her mindset. She's somebody who's always optimistic and positive. And I don't think I've ever seen you, Marty, ever talk about something not working. And I think that's a testament to your success. And one of the main things that drove your business to the level it is right now consistently is video marketing. And I wanted to kind of put a highlight on that and talk a little bit about it. And I do have my son with me today. I'm going to have Jacob come in and ask a lot of the questions and continue the conversation, but I am here. And Marty is based in Atlanta, Georgia, and she is now, she's a mom of 2 little kids, and she was doing a full-time job, very much like me. And I remember when I met Marty, and she told me, I want to leave my full-time job by X amount of date. And she was very persistent about it. In a couple of months, she went full-time, leaving her full-time job as a retail manager to becoming a full-time agent. So super inspirational, and she's been doing that ever since. And so I want you to kind of take in that information and be inspired, and make sure you're a sponge and take as much as information you can out of her as well. So Marty, Jacob, take it away. And I'm going to put myself on mute, and you guys go ahead.
All right, I'm super excited for this too, because I've actually been, seeing you do your journey too, and been quite impressed. So I'm glad we're going to get to talk about this today. So why don't you go ahead, Marty, and introduce yourself. Just kind of let people get a little bit about yourself, kind of how you transitioned into real estate and into full-time, and share a little bit about your numbers so they can kind of see where you're at.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for the nice words, Tharmila. So yeah, I started my real estate journey back in 2020, where I just hated my job. I got to a point where I hated it, and I was like crying going to work, crying coming from work. It was just, I needed something. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I hear people say, well, turn, your hobbies and find a way to make your hobby your career. And I'm like, I don't have any hobbies. I just like to shop and watch HGTV. And I was like, realtor. And it kind of came out of nowhere. But like, as soon as I thought about it, I was like, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. So like the next week I got my license. No, I didn't get my license. I started my course to get my license. And then that was like a week or 2 before COVID happened. And so my job got very busy, and the license got put on a back burner. Then I got pregnant with my second child. Then we sold our house in Savannah and decided to move to Atlanta. And by that time I had stopped the course that I was doing because I wasn't retaining any information. And I chose another course that was more beneficial to the way that I learn. So I got through that. I gave birth. I took my exam like a few weeks after I had my daughter. And then I started working on my career then. But the whole time that I was studying for exam, I would study for the exam, and then I would write business plans, or I would try to do more research on how I wanted to get leads, because I knew that I didn't want to be part-time in real estate for, so long. I had to get out because I just didn't enjoy what I was doing anymore. So that's what I did. I teamed up with Tharmila, and just put everything into motion with the Wolfpack. And that was 2021 when I got licensed. It was, I joined in June 2021. And I didn't have my first deal. I got my first contract like right away, but it was new construction. So it really didn't close until January 2022. So I went that long without having a deal. However, in between, I was getting clients. We were looking unsuccessful in the current real estate market.
Right.
And then I decided I was just want to be clear, the deals, the clients that I was getting, they were from people that I knew. So they were my sphere, just from me posting on social media, hey, I'm a realtor, yada, yada, yada. Then I started my YouTube channel in August of 2021. And I started making videos. I was putting out a video a week of home tours. Then in October, I started cold calling, and I closed I think I got my first client from cold calling in December, and then closed them in March. So that's kind of the sequence how that went. So I did, it was a time in between. And the reason why I did cold calling was to give my channel time to get out there, to get some subscribers, get some views, and get people calling me. So I really consider my first year of real estate starting in 2022, just because I didn't have anything going on in 2021. And I was able to go with my first 2 deals closed. I was able to leave my job in April of 2022. So it'll be a year next month. Wow. And I've been rolling ever since. So you want to talk numbers, you said, Jacob?
Yeah, so share a little bit about your numbers. Where's your YouTube channel at now? I just saw you recently post about that, so go ahead.
Hold on. I thought you were talking about like my deals.
We can talk about that too, but
okay. So I have to keep it up to date. So now I'm at 1,020 on my YouTube. I just hit 1,000 last Friday,
so
last Saturday. Yeah. So it was a lot of effort to
but
get me
a year
there.
and a half to go from 0 to over 1,000, that's pretty impressive. So that's great.
Yeah. And I always say like my husband says that the subscriber number is vanity metric. You can't measure your success on subscriber count or even views. It's all about how people, like, who's calling you? Is anybody emailing you? Are you putting out valuable content? Because I had a video with 30 views, and one person called, said, hey, this sounds like what I'm looking for, down payment assistance. Can you help me? And I got them under contract within 2 weeks from that one video with only 30 views. So it's not like, those are vanity metrics. So I don't want to get people to caught up and they're like, I don't have as much followers. It's not about the followers. It's about people who's calling you, because someone could watch one of your videos and give you a phone call. They might never subscribe. So, and then as far as like what I've done, like, so 2022, I did 9 deals, which is pretty decent. I had a higher than average sale, and that grossed like right at $101,000 from 9 deals in my first year. So it wasn't too bad of a first year.
No, I mean, even with statistic, a lot of people don't even get a deal the first 6 months to 12 months. And for you to have 9 and do that well, that's amazing. And one thing I want to touch on, what you said, I think is really important, is the vanity numbers. A lot of things, even on the social media side and YouTube, people think you have to have thousands and thousands of followers to be able to get leads, and they don't think about the quality of followers that you have. So it's super important to focus on that you're reaching your target audience instead of being like an influencer that has all of these people viewing. It's about that quality people that are actually looking and need what you're providing in your content. So I'm glad you touched on that. So let's talk a little bit about, like, why did you choose video marketing? I know you talked about in the beginning, you did cold calling so you could give it time for video marketing, which I think is also another important thing to touch on. A lot of people get into video marketing or social media, whatever lead generation thing that they have, and they do it for a couple of months and quit, but you knew going into it was going to take time. And so you found another way to generate leads using your sphere and cold calling. But why did you ultimately choose video marketing as kind of your way to generate leads?
So it started before I even got my license. My husband, he is a professional like branding expert. So he actually, well, we met, he did professional photography and videography. So when I say I have my husband doing it, it's not like, you know, amateur. He's like, actually,
Right.
that's how we met. So he does that. And then he also had a branding business that he was doing when I first met him as well, where they would take him and his business partner would take small businesses and give them logos, do graphic design, websites for them. So he used to build small businesses brands. And then he started doing it for himself. He created a YouTube channel. So he actually started, he knew how important video was back in 2018. So he started his YouTube channel, and he actually helped me start like a beauty. I had a makeup YouTube channel. So I was already doing that. It wasn't consistent. I still to this day only have like 70 subscribers on that channel. So yeah, we were looking at leads or how we were going to get leads for my business. I came across a video of a house tourist, this agent in Atlanta. She has like 100,000 plus subscribers. I don't know. But he was looking at her videos. He was like, I bet you she makes a lot of money. And I was like, you think so? Because you think people actually like call her? They don't call her from these videos. He was like, I guarantee you they do. And he was like, when you get your license, this is what you need to do. And I was like, I don't know. You know, I'm always the one that that's like, he'll tell me to do something and I give him all the reasons why it's probably not a good idea. I never listened the first time. So but I was like, yeah, sure. And I was looking at, you know, I was doing my research on how I wanted to get leads. I was looking at Brendan Mulrennan with cold calling, and then I found Mike Sherrard. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do this cold calling thing because, you know, I wanna hurry up and leave my job, and this seems like the quickest way. And my husband was like, what about that Mike guy? And I was like, I like EXP, so I will call him. And so that's how, you know, I got introduced to EXP and joined the Wolfpack through that. But that business plan really aligned with what was going to make sense long term, because when I sat down and thought about it, I didn't want to trade too much of my time,
Right.
like physical time, cold calling every single day. And then it's terrifying too. So I would do it to a point, you know, but I didn't want that to be my main business source. I really, the question I asked myself was, what would it look like if it were easy? And so if it were easy, it would be easy people calling me. So like qualified people wanting to buy, they call me. That's how it would look like if it was easy. So now the question is, how do I do that? And the answer was video through YouTube. And I added on social media later, which is more my thing, not my husband's thing. He's like 100% YouTube. He's like, I don't know what you're doing in your socials. I'm like, but it's getting me clients. It's getting me clients through my sphere. So they kind of work hand in hand. But yeah, that's how we got on video marketing.
And that's great too, because you knew video was what you wanted to go towards. So you found a plan that aligned. But one thing that's important too is that you layered on social media later. You didn't try to do everything at once, which is, I think, a really great thing to note, is because we all tend to try to do all these like 100 different lead generation ideas and none of them end up working. So you did one thing consistently, and then once that was going, then you added that layer that you liked, social media. So that's great. So this is kind of a twofold question. So what is your process to create content? And then how do you choose what to record?
So my process is being refined, like the more we go on. So it looked differently in the beginning, but now our process to create content, so I'm learning new stuff like every week. And me and my husband, he's co-owner, and my CMO, my chief marketing officer. So we actually have the meetings every Monday, and we discuss like what went well last week, what we're going to do this week, which neighborhoods we're going to tour. So that's we get like our ideas right there, and we take those and we go to SEO keyword search. So in order to make my content the most impactful, now I've started, instead of picking neighborhoods based on like what they have available, I'm now looking at SEO research and figuring out which keywords have the lowest competition but the highest search volume. And then I make videos based on that. So one of the keywords that I found was, I live in a city called Locust Grove. We found out the term Locust Grove Realtor had a high search volume, but really low competition. Right. So now my tours or whatever I'm doing, whether if it's neighborhood tour, community tour, home tour, I'm going to figure out how to incorporate Locust Grove Realtor into that. So I'm doing more homes around the area, like new construction neighborhoods, community tours that incorporate things to do around, like if you were to live here. And that has been my new strategy. But we pretty much, after we have our meetings on Mondays, we do our research and we plan our week. Tuesday we go film. So he does all my filming for me. He hates when I film it because I don't do it right, apparently. So we have to go together to film it. And sometimes it's harder than it actually seems with like 2 kids and like a fluctuating schedule with clients, but we try to get as much content filmed as possible. Yeah, we plan it out. So he actually edits those videos and then we put it out. And I've also started to incorporate some talking videos with me and another professional in the industry. So most recently, I just finished a series with my preferred lender. Coming up next, I have a appraisal series with Shoni, and we're going to talk about real estate and appraisals like that. So I'm trying to do something like that, like once a month, and have like a 4 video series or 3 or 4 videos on that one thing that I can put out in between the home tours, because not only is it showing like, hey, I know what I'm talking about, but I also know where all the houses are. And so one thing that I tell people when they call me is like, how soon do you want to find a house? Because I can find you something really quick, because I know just about all the new construction, where it's coming up. So don't be surprised. Like, don't listen to like how crazy the market is. I can find you something. And it's been easier lately, but just having that like confidence really helps people, and showing that confidence in the video. And I'm also starting, because I'm like off the top of my head kind of person with the scripts. So I need to put more effort into that, because I've heard that YouTube transcribes the videos. If I say a keyword in the beginning in my intro, it'll help with the keyword terms and popping up with SEO to make it, more higher on the search thing. So I need to be more intentional about creating scripts, and that's going to have all my keywords in it, which for my last few videos I have done, which haven't been posted yet. So we'll see how it does. But we checked my YouTube later, and I am ranking #1 for those terms that I wanted to, those keywords that I set out to. So
yeah, and I think that's an important thing, because as soon as you said SEO, because that's my thing. It's what I've done for 15
years. Get you excited?
Yeah, it got me smiling. And the thing that people don't understand too is that YouTube is not social media. It is actually a search platform, because it is the 2nd largest search engine in the world, Google being #1, but Google owns YouTube. And they don't realize like your descriptions, the things you say in your video actually matter, especially your titles, because those are all keyword searches, especially with the video tab on Google. The videos come up now at the top. So it's super important to be very mindful of what you're choosing. That's which is what I love what you just did, because we're actually doing the same thing, because we're, a spouse team as well, where we're looking at the newer neighborhoods coming up and going, nobody's covered, and this is the hot new neighborhood. So we're going to be ranking super fast for blog content and video content. And it's the same process, So I love that you touched on. And so when you just mentioned about your husband not liking what you do when you record the videos, I think this is super important too, because somebody might be watching this and be like, oh, it was easy for you because you're a professional helping you. But I've heard you mention this before about recording that some things you just put up because it needed to get up, and your husband just kind of had to get over it because he's a professional in what he does. It's like somebody coming in and I'm watching somebody else build their own website. I'm always like, no, that's not how you do it. But sometimes it just has to be done that way. So tell people kind of what equipment you're using, and then kind of based on maybe what you and your husband are using together. And then what are some things that you do on your own when you got to put out a video, so that way it's more approachable for everybody?
Yeah, I have 2 ways. So, and I do all my social media stuff. And I'll even do a home tour on my iPhone, and it still looks good. But I just want to preface by saying the reason why he doesn't want me doing it is because I tell everybody my husband with this company helps me. So he says, if I put out something, people are going to think that he did it. And so he doesn't want, not saying that it's bad, he just doesn't want that perception on his business,
brand.
which I get because he does like get business from other people. And
Right.
my YouTube channel is a part of his portfolio. So not saying that the videos don't look terrible. And if you do like what I do, I'm about to tell you, your videos will look just as fine. But yeah, my number one viewed video is the first video that I did. I think it did so well because it's engaging. I'm talking to the camera before and after. The home tour is a little shaky, but you know, it's still a nice quality. But somebody that I'm married to, he's just a perfectionist. I said somebody. John's just a perfectionist, though.
It's great.
But yeah, it's more important that you get started and don't overthink it. So the equipment that he uses, he has an A7R2, which is a Sony mirrorless camera. The mics that we use is the Rode mics. We use the wireless Rode mics as well as sometimes the podcasting mic, which he has. I use it sometimes, but not all the time. I have for my phone, and that's like to the extent that I know his stuff. And if we're setting up and filming like in our living room where we're doing our series with our professional vendors, he'll have the lighting and stuff too. What I use, I have my iPhone 13. Yep, 13. I don't even think it's the Pro, but it's the one with the 3 cameras. And maybe that is the Pro.
Yeah.
Okay. And on the iPhone 13, you can actually, I don't know if you can see this, but when you're taking a video, you want to change the settings from, let me do it the other way.
Come closer to where you are. Put it directly in front of you so it doesn't blur it.
Right here. Can you see? I don't want to record. Why is it recording? So up here, it says HD and 30. So you tap on the HD and it changes it to 4K. And then you tap on the 30 and it changes it to 60. So the 60 and 30, that's the frames per second. When you have a higher frames per second, it makes like the film more cinematic. And it's great if you want to add like slow motion content. And then these iPhones have an image stabilizer now. So if you don't have a gimbal, it will make it a little more smooth, but I suggest getting a gimbal. Mine isn't in here, but I have the, it's called Zhiyun, Zhiyun. And I just have that hooked to my phone. I don't really know how to use it that well. Like it takes practice, but he does most of my videos. So I really don't have to use it as much, but it's great when you are somewhere and maybe you're showing a house and you're like, oh, I need to film this. It's great for that. But changing the filming to 4K will give you that like cinematic professional camera feel. Then I use if I'm doing like a talking video like this, sometimes I'll just record on Zoom and post it. Like if I'm doing a market analysis and posting it to my YouTube, or if I'm going live on Facebook, I'll just use Zoom, record it, and then post it. And then to edit, so my husband, he was using Adobe Premiere, now he switched to DaVinci Resolve, and he has this really cool like editing keyboard. Don't overthink it. I just use CapCut. So CapCut, I have it on my phone and I can edit a video in like 15 minutes. It's super easy. And then they have a desktop app, and I like that too. For more, I guess, more when you're gonna just do more edits and add more graphics and stuff. I like the desktop version, and both of those are free. But CapCut is a gem for me. And that's where I edit even my short form and then long form content. So
okay. And then so going back to kind of the SEO, what is your recommendation for finding keywords and tagging your videos in YouTube to kind of help those videos get found?
Do you want to see the back end, how I do it?
I mean, if you want to share your screen, go for it.
Yeah, I can share my screen.
That's good. Okay, you're good to go. You can do that.
Okay. So I already have it pulled up here. I have YouTube pulled up, and we have vidIQ. So vidIQ is going to be the app you want to use. This is my husband's channel. We just use his vidIQ for everything. And then up here, you go to keyword inspector. And so I'm going to type in my main keyword that I use. And that's it. So the search volume on that is 1957, but the competition is very low. And this number right here, search volume, it's not that bad, but since it's a very low competition and that's a niche market, I have a good chance of getting the majority of those 2,000 views that search that keyword a month to my channel. And I couple this with other larger search terms. So I'll just go down here looking for other keywords. They'll have this very low right here. And then I also, will look right here. I probably wouldn't choose this search term, Locust Grove, because that's just not a lot of search volume. But I would choose, Locust Grove real estate, Locust Grove homes for sale, Locust Grove new construction. And when you add all these search terms up, that's going to add to the amount of people that are the potential search volume of that keyword. Henry County real estate, that's the county we live in. And so it keeps on going down. So Heron Bay is a neighborhood within Locust Grove. And because I saw people are searching this, there's 3 different keywords that have Heron Bay in it. And so I just did a Heron Bay neighborhood tour. So it's kind of giving me ideas. So you can download to a CSV, copy to clipboard, and then add into YouTube.
Your tags, yeah.
Yeah, in your tags. That's the right account. So I'll just show you my YouTube studio.
And why that's like, I think it's really cool that you brought that up too, is that most people think when they want to rank for one word, how important it is to find similar phrases, and not just like 1 or 2 words, like long phrases, like questions people would type, combining all of that's what really gets you found. It's not just writing everything to resolve around saying that one keyword over and over again. It's about having those different keywords, and people just honestly don't know that. So that's great.
So for this home tour, I wanted to rank for Davidson Homes, Danbury, because that's a specific floor plan. And when we looked it up, that had a high amount of search volume, but I also included Locust Grove Realtor. So I try to include 1 to 2 keywords in the in the title, and then have them in the description. So when you read it, it doesn't really make sense. So it looks like a bunch of words, but it's for keyword terms as Marty Pettiford, Locust Grove Realtor showcases Davidson Homes, the Danbury floor plan in Locust Grove, Georgia. Like, it doesn't really make sense, but it's all those keywords. And then at the bottom, I just do this in case I miss a keyword. I put them all at the bottom. So if you ever want to see which keywords I'm using, they're right there at the bottom of the description. And then it's really just a copy of all my tags. So those are the tags that I use. So I would take, from whatever from there, and then paste here. And that's where I get all these keywords came from that one search. You can see those are pretty much the same keywords from that one search that I just did.
Awesome.
And that's it. If I look at my channel through there, from his vidIQ page, and I go to that same video right here. It'll tell me, so those are all the keywords that I'm ranking for. The ones
Locust Grove Realtor, you're ranking number 2 if somebody searches
number 2 to myself. So I have the number 1. Another video is ranking number 1 for, and then another one is ranking number 2. So when you go and search Locust Grove, I think I show up for this. So those are my videos. Perfect. So I have, I think it's a playlist in there too. And then those are my videos as well. There's Shawnee. And I have some of the top ones and we just started using that keyword a couple months ago. So
Yeah, and see, that's a great way, like, to pivot yourself too, to think about content and topic ideas, is find out where there's no competition, but people are actively looking for information. I think that's one thing people don't understand. Content marketing as a whole, how important it is to your business, whether it's video marketing or blogs, people are actively looking for information. 80% of people start their online search to find out something before they go to a business, they go to find out about services. So finding that niche where you can focus your time and energy, and it's paying off quicker than trying to rank for Atlanta Realtor. You'd be at it for 5 years and probably never
Yeah.
rank for it. But niching down to a specific neighborhood area that people are doing, especially with like new up and coming areas, they're always happening once an area fills up. If you can get ahead of everybody jumping to that new trend, you're going to rank, and you'll always rank for that area. And then now you've got that, whether it's your website, the domain authority, or your YouTube channel, that you're constantly having those views. I think that's super important. So I have two last questions before we wrap this up, because we're coming up on our 30 minutes. I think this is important too, is everybody always feels like nobody wants to get in front of the camera. I hate being in front of the camera, I'll tell you that. And they'll have people like come out, oh, you're so good at it. And I'm like, no, I don't like doing it. But I force myself to do it. I kind of actually secretly kind of like it. But talk about like your first experience getting in front of the camera and kind of where you are now. Because I think people don't understand how you're supposed to grow in this process. You're not supposed to be perfect day one. You're supposed to actually mess up and look like a goofball, you know, in front of the camera. But you refine your process. Like you said, you're starting to put keywords in your actual script now. I'm like you, I just wing the topic. I don't like to, I know the topic I'm talking about, I just wing it and see how it goes. But I like that you are, you know, thoughtful in that process, because now you know that YouTube is actually generating that content with captions. It's another way to capture SEO. So how are your videos different from when you first started off until now, a year and a half later?
So I've always been good in front of the camera. I'm sorry. I used to do pageants, and I used to, do panel interviews in those pageants. So you have to be quick to think on your toes. So I used to have to like make up a lot of stuff on the spot, and it had to make sense. So I actually, every time, you know, when I had a job interview, I would interview very well because I was just comfortable talking about myself. I was comfortable with my vocabulary and, you know, like what I was talking about. So for me, the confidence in filming video was to know what I was talking about for real estate. So I can't take a new topic and speak confidently on it. I need to research it a little bit more so I know what I'm talking about, because a lot of the stuff that I do, I don't write scripts for, which, you know, like I said, I'm starting to be more intentional about it, but it's usually off the top of my head. But it's important to write the scripts so that you stay on topic, so that you hit all the points that you want to hit. So for someone who's not like me, who's not comfortable speaking in front of the camera automatically, I would say do your research and just become well versed in that topic, because I guarantee you, if you were to have to make a video on something that you're really passionate about outside of real estate, just make a video on it, you would be fine doing it. It's because you're comfortable and you're knowledgeable on that subject. So whether you're talking about market reports or whether you're talking about new construction homes or the neighborhoods that you're filming on camera to post to YouTube, make sure you do your research so that you can speak confidently in it. And then if you don't, one of the things that I was doing at first, I was making bullet points on a Word document and blowing them up really big because I didn't want to invest into a teleprompter. I was just using Word. And I would not like, so if I was pre-filming it, not at a neighborhood, or maybe sometimes, but I would put it on my computer screen or my phone, take a look at it, say what I need to say around that bullet point, pause, go back and look at the notes, then start the next point. And you can edit all that together to make it look really cohesive. I learned that through the editing process, I learned that like when I'm saying stuff, you have to be, you know, you have to communicate clear and stuff like that. Taking out all the ums and the pauses. I learned that I have like a really hard S when I talk. So my husband was showing me like the volume thing. And like when I say something with an S on it, I like draw that S out. And I'm like, okay, I need to work on that. So even after you get to a certain point, if you're comfortable speaking in front of the camera, then you can just work on perfecting it. But I would say definitely like the knowledge is key to having that confidence on camera, and just pretend like you're talking to yourself in the mirror. or better
Right.
yet, practice in the mirror. Then when you pull out the camera and you're looking at yourself, it'll feel like you're just talking in the mirror.
Right. And I've seen other agents do, even like Linda Baker talked about, like, she doesn't like to talk directly to the camera. And she has somebody asking her questions in front of it. Even my husband, he does not like to be on camera, and I think he does a great job. And I told him one day, do you want me to just ask you questions? We'll just put the side view, and then they don't see me. It's like you're having a conversation, because then you
That's
don't feel
really
intimidated by
cool
staring into a
too.
blank screen, you know, and looking at yourself. So
I heard that videos with a microphone in it, like in the screen, off with the camera angle off to the side, like you're talking to someone else, that has a really high view / engagement content, because people, I guess people are starting to make videos like that now because they aren't like comfortable in front of the camera. So you could use that to your advantage.
yeah, and I think for the user watching it, it's not as intimidating, like you're talking directly at them. It's like they're getting a part of a conversation and listening in and kind of eavesdropping.
Like a
So,
fly on the wall.
yeah,
That might be why.
yeah, I like that approach
That's to
too.
your advantage if you're not comfortable.
So last question. So what's some advice you have, whether they're a new agent or a seasoned agent that is looking to getting into video marketing as a part of their lead generation, and what steps would you recommend for them and to get started?
So if you're a new agent and you have some time, like financially, you have time to build your channel, just take your time to build your channel. Give yourself 6 to 9 months to get that going consistently, because you might get leads coming in sooner. But just like when I got my first leads from YouTube, it was like 2 months in, but they weren't quality leads. And I felt like they weren't quality because I probably wasn't putting out enough quality material to get those quality leads. So just give yourself time to be consistent and grow, and just focus on the process instead of the results. So if you focus on habits and making those habits, like I'm going to film this video and post it out of habit, the results will come. And then if you are strapped financially and you need, to bring business in quicker, you might have to do more traditional ways of prospecting, like cold calling or door knocking, because you don't really have an option. So it's okay to do both, but you have to stay consistent in both.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
I think
biggest thing, just being consistent.
exactly. And giving it time. Even when I work with SEO clients, they think the moment I take over day one, they're going to show up in Google and beat everybody else that's been doing this for a long time. And you have to give yourself time and set the right expectations to actually get it to work. And some people have quicker success, some people don't. It all is based on your market too, and kind of where you're at in your business. So I like that. Be consistent and keep that going. So I really appreciate you today. I even learned a few things today, so I'm glad. I was taking notes right here while we're doing it. So thank you for coming and sharing all of your knowledge. If you have any questions, you're not able to ask it here, or if you're watching this on YouTube later, feel free to reach out. All the contact information is below. Marty's contact information, YouTube, all that stuff will be linked in there. And then if you're interested in joining our group at EXP and taking a look at all the amazing resources and tools we have, like stuff like you saw today, especially to grow your real estate business in this modern way, reach out for us. You can go to FridayConnect.net. There's links there to connect with us. You can reach out to Marty, Tharmila, or myself to talk about that. We'd love to have the opportunity to show you exactly what we're doing at EXP and why I think we have the best value stack and all of EXP, if not real estate, as far as resources and training go. Marty, thank you again for coming and sharing your wisdom and your experience. I'm thoroughly impressed and proud of you, and especially when I heard you're about to calf. So congratulations, and you deserve all the success you're getting. And if that's it, I'll see you guys next week.